Hey, this is Recess Fitness Club Sandbox Sessions. Today we have the Champagne Lion as our guest.
Super excited to be here.
I am Taylor, the co-founder of Recess.
I'm Rachel, all things operations here at Recess.
Evan Duncan, co-founder Recess.
And for those of you who don't know, the Champagne Lion has been our marketing agency for 3 years now? 4 years.
Just came up on the anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've been racking our brains on who we should have on the podcast. We need a female entrepreneur, and it was very clear who we should have. Our mission is to build more than just a brand here at Recess. We're trying to build kind of a lifestyle brand. The Champagne Lion, tell us a little bit about, it's a woman-led agency that specializes in social media management.
Yeah, so my name is Kimberly Kirt, owner of Champagne Lion, and really what we do is social media marketing, your organic social media, paid ads, and email marketing for fitness and wellness-based businesses. So that was very much my subject matter expert kind of area of I tried to do everything because I was really afraid of who can pay me, who can I serve, who can I help? And then as I started working with more fitness brands, wellness brands I actually cared about their mission and everything, I was like, okay, we have to just stick within this area because it's so much more fun and we produce really great work in this space. So that's really why we do what we do, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it today because it's all my favorite things in one podcast.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you here. The big thing that we're trying to do with these podcasts is really talk about entrepreneurship and how people got to where they did. So this will be a really cool story. It's really relative to how you helped Recess get on the map and how we're all sitting here today. You're part of those ingredients.
Yeah, I'm just going to brag about you guys a bunch, but it'll be great.
For sure. Do you recall how we all met?
Yes, I remember an intern that you had at the time actually initially reached out to me on Instagram because I was a fitness instructor in Dallas. I got my degree in marketing, was always in marketing, but loved fitness. And so I was on the side of working at a marketing agency, teaching fitness classes. So I was very much in the Dallas fitness scene. And I think your intern was just reaching out to a bunch of gym people, active people, wanting them to come in. I think I'd responded, and then you had popped up and you're like, hey, actually, now it's Evan, and it looks like you do marketing, and we really want to talk to you about that. So come work out, but also I want to talk to you after.
Okay.
And then we got to chatting.
I didn't even remember that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can thank whoever was your intern at the time, maybe, for making that initial connection.
And what's funny, just like you just reminded me, and in case we forget, one of the employees that we've had at Recess for quite a while is now working with Champagne Lion, which I think is so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Literally.
And she runs our social.
Yes. She helps out with things on your engagement and everything like that, writing some emails. And she is definitely, I've had a few people on my team over the years, and she is the person who's the most like me, like a second me, I would say. And just knowing that she had that referral coming from you guys, made it so much easier. And she's such an amazing employee. And I feel like it also stems from like your culture, your expectations of people. So when she reached out to me, I was like, I definitely have to still interview you, but like, yeah, super awesome. I'm
gonna skip over this first question because I'd like to know more like how. I want to get into how we started, and I know Recess is certainly like a big client of yours, but how did you get into marketing and how did you decide to work for yourself? Yeah. And what was that transition like? Yeah.
So oddly enough, the story starts out with me never wanting to be an entrepreneur. My parents own their own business. When I was in preschool, my dad got let go from his job because he was doing something on the side. 2 kids, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and it was like, oh shoot, we gotta figure this out. So still amazed that they did that every single day, but I saw their life was work. We had a decent amount of land. My parents' machine shop was on a field in front of our house. My mom worked in our house. They were talking about work all the time. They were working all the time. But they could still come to my dance recitals, my softball. Like they could come to everything, but they'd go back to work after. And I was like, man, I can't wait for the day I can go to work at 9, clock out, peace out, see you later. Like I want nothing to do with this. Get my first 9 to 5 job. And I'm just like, I'm stuck. I don't like being here. It's a beautiful day outside. I have nothing to do, and I'm just stuck inside this building. And so it took I wasn't in the corporate world for that long, maybe 3 or 4 years in marketing. I started out at an advertising agency. I was teaching fitness classes at the time because at first I thought, all right, maybe I just don't like this because I'm missing, like, where are the high fives? Where's everyone? Like, no one's upbeat here. Like, people were nice, but they weren't like the people I was used to being around, because I taught fitness in college as well. So that was a very, I was just around like-minded people and everything like that all the time. Get to the corporate world, I was like, all right, this is a little different. I'm gonna start teaching fitness classes. Maybe that'll fill that void for me. Start teaching fitness classes, love it so much. Then go to work for a software company that was active-based. It was called Active Network. And they did ticketing for 5Ks, your Spartan races. They did tickets for like college football. So I was like, okay, active. They had an office like Google. I could sit in a beanbag while I worked. The big windows, like, this must be it. Still, though, I didn't have the connection to people. Like, I felt like a keyboard monkey, just not having the impact I wanted to have. And my role, that I wasn't an account manager, so I never got to speak to clients. So I was like, how'd the campaign go? Like, do they like it? Like, I never knew any of that. I never got to be involved in any of that. At that time, I mean, Instagram came out when I was in college, so don't have a degree in Instagram by any means. But as I was in my early career, it started to become a thing that you could you could have a social media business. So I started doing that on the side, and because I was doing like NPC competitions and cycling, my first few clients were, the prep kitchen. Like, I met those people through competing and through just a lot of successful people in bodybuilding also have businesses.
Did you say that you didn't have a degree in Instagram? Did I hear you say that?
I mean, I have a degree in marketing, but not Instagram.
Is that a degree? Can you
there
get a
are
degree?
classes, I think, on
Really?
Instagram now.
Wow.
And like social media. Like, I'm pretty sure Peyton took classes in social media.
Wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing when I was.
The closest, I have
It was
a minor.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a minor in digital studies.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about, how big chips used to be, and now they were like USBs. Like, we had nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing to talk about except for like just computers. That's really what it was. But yeah, then my first few clients when I was still working were in the fitness space. I was like, well, I know this. This is really easy for me to tack on to my normal 9 to 5. And I really thought I wanted to go full-time in fitness. So I started teaching 7 to 10 cycling classes a week. Do not recommend. I was also doing fitness coaching on the side because I have a it's expired now, had a personal training, certification. So I was like, okay, I love fitness. I love helping people. That's really where all this stems from, is I love helping people. In the marketing world, I wasn't getting the feedback of like, oh, you really helped us do this. I didn't know how I was helping anybody. So that's, I think, where that hole came in. So then I was like, okay, I can do my cycling classes, I can do this, and all that is gonna help for me to go full-time in fitness. Found out after a month of teaching classes 7 to 10 times a week, didn't want to do that anymore. I was really cycling, going nowhere. Having online clients and everything, that was great, but not exactly what I wanted to do. Teaching, I taught Flywheel, which is RIP, out of business now. But I was like, okay, I enjoy helping people here, but I can't physically teach a class 10 times a week and that build up the income from what I need. So through that, though, I had to market myself for people to come to my classes. And so that's how I kind of got into studio marketing and understanding that. And then I actually did do some marketing with the corporate team at Flywheel for a little bit before they went out of business. I should have listened to me more. But worked with them a little bit on like Texas strategy and really enjoyed that. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm speaking to the audience I want to talk to. I'm helping people come to class, and if they come to class, I have this impact on their life. Like, that's what I want. So, long story short, which is funny, Flywheel went out of business because of Peloton. The software company that I was working at went from a private company to a public company, got rid of all their employees except for their sales staff, which I was not a sales staff, so I got let go. But if it wasn't for that, I don't know how long it would have taken me to take that jump. And luckily, when I left my full-time job, I still did have cycling. So it's like, if everyone fires me, I can still pay my rent.
What years was that? In relation,
Yes, I left my full-time job in 2018 in summer, so we're coming up on 7 years. but I started about a year before that doing the digital marketing and serving people in that way. Yeah, so it really ended up being, okay, I got let go from this job. All right, I still have Flywheel, and that's fine. I can pay my rent. Building up that client base, and then Flywheel goes out of business. I was like, all right, my safety net's gone. And then after that, after I stopped teaching is really when stuff started taking off, because I had nothing else. I didn't have to playlist at night, didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go teach a class and lose sleep and everything like that. So it was like safety net after safety net was taken away. I was like, all right, I can fly now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like Recess, your business was built totally from scratch. So what did some of those early days look like?
Gosh, I mean, I don't want to say way more fun than they are now, but I feel like I didn't start taking it super seriously until probably 2 years in. And by what I say that is I really just wasn't clear on what I wanted to do. Because at first, funny enough, I thought if I have my own business, I can work out so much more. Like I can do my morning cardio, I can compete, I'll be amazing because I have my own schedule. Little do you know, when you start opening, you have your own business, you work a heck of a lot more than 40 hours a week. So I think in the beginning, I mean, I say that, but I was also making a lot of connections with like the fitness industry. Like that is very much still who I was hanging out with at the time. And a lot of those people, even if I didn't work for them necessarily, maybe ended up getting introduced to somebody. Like I still get clients today from people who took my Flywheel classes. Like, hey, a friend of mine opened a business. I would really love for you to connect with them.
Hey, we're still getting staff from your Flywheel days.
Yeah, that's very true. One of my best friends works here,
giving.
so it really does. Yeah, so I would say I didn't really take it super seriously until about 2 years in, when I was like, okay, I'm making more than I made at my other job, so that's nice. But how do I act? Like, do I want to hire people? Do I want this to just be me? Okay, it's really hard if it's just me. How do I scale this? And so then started adding on. That was kind of during like COVID lockdown era, so I was like, darn it, studios aren't open, now what do I do? So then I started doing paid ads and email marketing. I was like, okay, how can I help people in a different way now that maybe some of the other stuff I used to offer might not be exactly what people need right now. So that was when I kind of expanded my services. And then in 2021, I mean, that's when I started working with you guys. So 2021 was really when stuff, like I think our business grew like 4 times that year. So it was a really good year. But also when I decided I'm gonna start hiring people, I have more of a plan versus like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I mean, it probably took me 2 years to be like, I'm not going into a job. Like I used to call myself fun employed because I was just having a good time. I was still teaching cycling. So I think it is when the cycling stopped that I was like, okay, now I don't have anything else. So now I have to really take this a little bit more seriously. Wish I would have started taking it seriously earlier, but still made it to where we are today.
Yeah, our brands, you sent us a text last night, maybe it was the day before, that showed like how we had evolved in our marketing over the years. I've even seen your logo, which it really connected with me, change. And when I saw just the way you formatted your new logo, how that's what I felt like I could see in the way the words were formatted with the champagne and lion, like what the champagne lion was and the agency, and like how it had this kind of luxury feel. What do you feel like it takes to build a brand that actually connects with people?
Yeah, I love this question because it's simple, but it's not easy. So to build a brand that connects with people, you have to first know who you are, what you stand for, and who you want to attract, which you guys have done such a great job at doing. And then how you do that is by having, your core values, your mission statement, your brand personality, and then knowing how you want your audience to feel when they interact with your content or interact with your brand. And that's one thing that I told you I was going to brag a lot about you guys on this podcast. You guys have really helped me show me what an ideal client looks like. Before I started working with you, I always had my discovery sheet that we went through together. Okay, I'm going to ask you these questions. We're going to go through them. You guys answered them, but also said, oh, but we have it all. We have these other documents. Here's 3 pages about our target audience. Here's 2 pages on our brand ethos and what we really want to stand for. So we'll answer your questions here, but here's so much more that we've already done. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, oh, I can help you with that, but that's not my job. But you guys already had that established. So from the get-go, I knew exactly what your core values and your mission statement was. And then we could make that really clear in the content. And we still do it now, but in the early days, we did it heavy. It was heavy, 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 what Recess stood for, what it was about. And then based on, you had 3 to 4, I went through it last night, you had 3 to 4 personalities that you wanted to attract, which is genius, because one gym isn't just gonna have one type of customer. There's different people coming in with different goals. And so we had to figure out, okay, how can our brand values speak to these 4 different types of people through the same kind of content? And we did that. We wanted to be educational, which again, I was looking back and it was like proper form for this and, doing this. But that's one thing we want, we want people to know that we know what we're talking about. And we want people to know that we're not just a cool space.
And it's a big plus working with you, icing on the cake, being that you had the fitness background is really just a cherry on top to have you here and market for us, because that content is so important to me. Not just the picture, but what's written, and is it informative? Did it help someone? Did they learn something? Where it's aesthetic and that's great and it makes a great grid, but also what does it say?
Right.
I remember going over the brand voice. I was just talking about it with someone who's, looking at hiring Champagne Lion, and about someone speaking to your brand for you. And I do remember in the early days where we were kind of formulating the verbiage for these posts together and saying okay, this is what, this is the Recess personality, attitude, how it would talk, it's this but not this, it's that but not this. And you picked up on it super duper quick, and I think of course, because you have a background in fitness, but I think that's also just part of your skill set, and what makes a great marketing agency is is being able to listen, being able to understand what someone's trying to communicate, and then finding a way to do that even better than what they thought, what they were intended.
Yeah, and I know we've had this conversation before, but I think you've given me that compliment before, and I was like, it's crazy the amount of my clients who say hey, you actually listened to me, and I was like, crazy, right? Yeah. You listened to what I was saying and could transform it into what I wanted, and I know that. I mean, you guys had a situation where you're working with someone else, they didn't even take a picture of the coolest thing in our gym, and that was
exactly what that was. Remember that?
Yeah, how could you miss that?
It is too.
I go,
hey, where's the vintage Triumph motorcycle? And they go, what vintage Triumph motor? And I go, the one in the middle of the dang floor. And
red flag.
Yeah, it was
and at the time, that was our coolest fixture.
Yeah, it'd be missing the slide.
Yeah,
because we already had it.
Yeah,
and we could afford.
We couldn't, right? It was that. Let's go with that.
Let's just throw a motorcycle.
Throw a sticker on it. It's a Recess motorcycle.
Yeah. That was I forgot all about that dang bike.
Yeah, I still have that bike.
I remember but again, that happened so many times, and that's a big reason of going back to why I started this and why I like being in this space, is because a lot of times, not so much today and in Dallas, because it is a very competitive fitness space, but I mean, even 5 years ago when we got started, our Instagram grew pretty fast because you guys were one of the first really cool boutique agents, gyms. And Peyton and I were talking about, she's like, I feel because she was a front desk person here, she's like, I feel like the close rate was 100%. She's like, I knew the second that I walked in there, I was like, yep, I need to do this. To cancel my other membership, I'm walking, I'm doing this. And I mean, even our ads had a 30%, nuts, because it was, what you created was so magical. But just really being able to understand, okay, I want to do this for a type of business that is what I care about, because the more people like you that I help, the more individuals who come here I get to help. So I'm not just helping the 3 of you, I'm helping everyone who comes here because they found out about it through hopefully marketing work that we did. So that's how I get my little ego boost, is okay, instead of helping 50 people in a cycling class, I can help all these people become more fit or more healthy by speaking out and blasting out the missions of really cool brands and people who have a really cool mission. Yeah.
Is there a particular campaign or post, or I know there's the one, right? But something that we've done together that was maybe out of the norm, that trying something new, not sure if this thing's gonna work, that you think was either just really cool or that superseded your expectations?
I would say, obviously we have the viral post that did so well, but I think in the beginning, where we were still trying to figure each other out, we did our first kind of real campaign was the funny kind of Dollar Shave Club style videos of like, like kicking over the tripod.
Yeah,
It's so funny because I'm pretty sure you stepped over Peyton and then kicked a tripod. Like, so it all comes full circle.
Peyton, yeah.
So those were the first, because we had a video with you guys talking, and that was one of the first. It was created before I got here, and I was like, all right, it was very branded, and it was talked about your mission, and it showed the beautiful space, and it was great. And then this was the first time we're like, let's kind of poke fun at the industry a little bit. And those, which the videos were like squares because reels weren't a thing yet, so they were just squares on the little Instagram feed. Yeah, talking about like the DJs and like, I mean, there was strobe lights, fog machine. Like, it was. Those are, awesome. And they did really well. Yep. And I mean, and people, but people loved it. And that what was so cool about it was that it was okay, and
it was fun but tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful and a very clear message, something people can get on board with and something people appreciate. And again, it all goes back to you guys knew exactly who you were talking to, so that makes my job very easy. If I know who we're talking to, we want them to be like, ha ha ha, but I am going to go check that gym out. You know what I mean? That's like, all right, let's think of something then to send that message in a way that's going to stop the scroll and make them hopefully take the next step.
Yeah, we talk about here, one thing that really sets Recess apart, amongst a whole bunch of other things, I think, is our culture. Yeah. How do you help brands translate their culture into digital content?
Yeah, I would say first things, again, a little brag on you guys, you do have to build something cool. I have had people reach out to me who say, I want to be like Recess, multiple times.
I'm flattered.
I look at what they might be doing, I'm like, I can't do the same thing for this LA Fitness looking space as I can do for them. You have to build something that's unique. And I mean, John Rosenberg said it on his podcast. You can't just say, hey, we built a gym. Now, like, people are going to come. You have to think of how your front desk staff greets people. You have to think of the ambience, the locker rooms, so people want to get ready here after work. You have to think of everything. And you can keep getting better, but you have to build a culture. To build a culture, you have to build a place that people want to come and want to show off. And I think right now we're in such a cool era of Instagram that being healthy is really, really cool. And people want to be like, look at how cool my gym is. Like FOMO, kind of like, this is how I spend my days. This is my routine. And we had somebody about a month ago reach out to us and say, how do you get people to tag you so often? Like, are you incentivizing them? And I was like, absolutely not. That would be a lot of incentive. Like, we don't even post half of the tags. Like, we try to rotate who we're showing off and everything like that. And so first, the business has to build something cool, and then from there we can capitalize on it by having. A big thing of what we do is the community engagement piece. Like, we are engaging with them. It helps whenever I come to the gym. I'm like, hi, I met you on Instagram. I'm the person. Like, every time we have like the boat party, the Christmas party, I'm like, hey, I repost your stuff on Instagram. And I'll introduce myself. I'm like, oh, I'm Kimberly. This, that, and the other. And but you have to build something cool that people want to go to and are proud to show off. But then from there, I mean, I know that when people are posting and we repost them, people will be like, oh my gosh, my girl. Like, they'll respond to us hyping up their friends, which is so cool. But you have to have somebody, whether it's you or an agency, managing that community, because if it starts online, I mean, it starts online and that gets even better when you come here. And that's even if someone reaches out for the first time. We're super excited. We're giving them information, even though if it's on the website. We're like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, here's the link to get started, everything like that. So being really excited gets people excited. Like, oh man, they were really excited to talk to me. I bet it's gonna be even better when I get there. So it starts with something cool, and then just in everything you do, having the excellence dabbled across the board. Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I know Champagne Lion is all women owned and operated, right?
Yes.
Do you plan on maintaining that?
I do, and it's funny. Everyone who's like who works for us in the office or works for us is a woman, but then almost all my creators are males, but they're contractors. So, a little different. But how Champagne Lion got its name is, I think female lions are like the coolest animal. Like, they do the hunting, they do the protecting, they raise the cubs. they're just cool big cats. And that's kind of like, all right, I love lions. We're going to start with that. Champagne, no one's sad. Like, here we go. Champagne, you're not sad drinking champagne. It has luxury and success kind of embedded into it. So that's how the name came to be. I was like,
Love a bottle of Dom.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, could I? I mean, one time my brother was like, so you're ever going to shatter the glass ceiling and hire a guy to work in your company? I was like, don't know. We'll see. But like I said,
if the right guy comes
right,
along.
exactly. But yeah, so a lot of our creative teams are all male, and then our kind of more strategy, social teams are female. So we one of our videographers just calls us the Lions, which I think is so cute. He's like,
that's
I love the
awesome.
Lions.
That's
Hey.
I think it's good though. You know,
Yeah.
even another large reason Rachel's sitting here is like we want to I think gyms are just too overrun by men.
Yep.
And it's why? God, it's so boring. It's been great working with women.
Yeah.
I mean, we agreed
Yeah.
we wanted a female manager.
Got to be female manager.
Yeah.
Got to be female in the marketing.
Yeah.
And they're both great to look at too.
What, somebody's got their brand down,
Yep.
right? Which you said was so important, like their brand
Yep.
voice, who they are, creating something cool, whatever. They don't have enough money to hire Champagne
Yep.
Lion because they're just starting out. What's one thing that you could say help somebody step up their marketing, organically or on the cheap, in day one days?
I would say the first thing to do is hire at least an initial photo and video shoot. Shouts out to our creative team. Because you only have one chance to make a first impression. I mean, even on your account, even though it looked different, it was a photographer coming in here and taking pictures. It was iPhone video because that's what we could do at the time, and video wasn't as important back then. And also shout out to Vital for having some photo shoots in here and we could use their content. But having really nicely done or even mediocre photo and video that you can have on your website and you can have on your and even if you're not posting every single day, all right, what you do put out there is very well thought out. It looks nice. It encourages people to say, hey, that looks cool. I'm going to go give that a try. You can do a lot with iPhone, but even I say pay for a photo and video shoot, do that in the beginning. And then from there, maybe invest in just, okay, how can I make my edits look a little cooler? Like there are some really cool filters on your phone, and just commit to posting twice a week. And it sounds like a lot when you have everything else going on, but if you can post at least twice, it's funny because posting on Instagram has nothing with how successful you are in your business, but if you're posting consistently and people know, hey, they post twice a week, there's some sort of trust that gets built there of like, oh, well, they post regularly to Instagram, I can rely on them, which is a funny thought, but if a gym didn't post for a year, you'd be like, are they open? I don't know. I haven't seen anything. So that consistency kind of bleeds into the business and the trust factor. And I think getting the initial creative and then being able to, and even once a week is better than twice a week. Doing something consistently, and a really great place for ideas is you're sitting down with someone, you're trying to get them to be a member at your gym. What are their objections? What are their questions? And just pulling from those moments and saying, okay, they had questions on this, let's put that into a piece of content. Or people wondered about our locker rooms, let's take a picture of the locker room, show them what it's all about. So your day-to-day is a great source of content inspiration.
Well, I know we've done a lot together in the last 4 years, tackled a lot. Style has changed a lot. You were showing some throwbacks, right, from our 4-year anniversary and kind of some of the first posts. What do you see us potentially tackling that we haven't yet?
I would say, and I haven't even brought this up to you guys yet, but
Even
experiences are really big right now, like this summer. Experiences are just happening. Like Urban Outfitters just did a really cool, back to school, even though summer just started, activation. And, run clubs are really popular. And just things, like we've said, the culture at Recess is so unique. So how do we take what is going on here and make it a little bit more experiential, which we do. Our parties.
I already know.
Right. So I was like, I got this. But I think and I would say over the last few years, I came in as a social media manager. Now I'm definitely more of a marketing director who does social media. We're thinking of, all right, talking to all these different arms in your business to make it work. And it all kind of comes together at social media. That's how it's dispersed. We put stuff on TVs in the gym, on different signage. All kind of lives through social media and branches out from there. But I think really being able to tackle that next level, and again, because after 2020, I feel like gym memberships went up exponentially. People wanting to be part of a community went up exponentially. So that is, again, it's so cool to be a part of a community now. So thinking of creative ways to have more of those things worked into our strategy overall.
What about, same question for Champagne Lion, what's next? Where do you see y'all in 5 years?
Or do you have like a dream
5 years.
client, maybe?
I mean, you guys are my dream client, so I'm already here. I would say just right now we're working on branching out to different cities, because one thing that we've realized is that, I mean, you guys are the only gym that I work with, because again, a lot of people come to me and it's not the same. I can't do for this person what we've done here. So, but there's probably one of you guys in this city and one of you guys in this city. And also, me as a person, I do want to help everyone. My alliance to people, I couldn't in good faith be like, oh yeah, I'm going to advertise for a gym that's your competitor. I couldn't do it because I come here all the time, and it would just be hard to separate those two, I think.
Well, this account is going to keep growing and becoming more robust for you. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I want to keep that going, but just having, and I have creatives in different cities, so that's kind of what I'm working on right now, is just being able to know, like, okay, I don't have to be there, but as long as there's a creative team in San Diego, in Chicago, I can branch out in that way, because I feel like we have a lot of Pilates, we have quite a few Pilates studios in Dallas, Legree, and there's only just so many people who have healthy budgets that we can help. So we kind of have to start expanding out city-wise.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You guys, you were talking about, Rachel and Evan asked the questions earlier, like what's next, and if you're working on a small budget, and we all had these questions, and I was sitting there thinking, like, my goodness, it would be, there's no way, even as a business owner now, everyone's good at their own things, and I can't imagine. I just thank you so much for,
of course,
what you've done for us and where we've all grown, and everyone over here behind the cameras.
Yeah, shouts out,
man,
to the media team, John.
It's just been a phenomenal,
y'all are freaking awesome.
Phenomenal collaboration of people to
wish we could turn that camera.
I know. Well, add that in post, just. Yeah. But I mean, and even right back, I mentioned it before that you guys really helped me decide what a good client is, but also how we work together I think has helped make me a better manager, because there's been so many. I don't think we've really ever had any conflicts, but I think everything that we've done, it's like, okay, we're getting bigger. Let's start setting up an in-person monthly marketing meeting so we're always on the same page. The biggest thing that usually happens if, I lose a client or anything falls apart, the communication stops. People aren't responding to my emails. I'm not getting what I need from them, so I can't do my job. Or people start speaking to me. You would not believe some of the things people have said to me. And I'm like, I'm not your employee. This is not how this works. I'm not working with you anymore. So I think everything we've ever done is like, okay, we have 10 more times the things going on than when we started. Let's do this. Okay, we're wanting to compete with people in the area. We need to bring on a full-on media team. Like, instead of being like, hey, why aren't you doing this? It's like, well, that's not my special. Like, I don't think we've ever had anything like that, because it's just like always so proactive. And you guys always do what you say you're going to do. So you said that idea before, and I was like, well, I guess it's happening, because integrity is one of our brand's core values. So for you guys, like literally the most minuscule thing from one of the first times we met, seeing that come to life now is so awesome. And so it makes me excited always to work on your stuff. So I'm like, well, all my work isn't for nothing. It's going to happen. So it makes it very exciting when it's like, all right, we're working towards this, or this is what's next. And you guys have helped me be better, I think, in my line of work as well. Because even if I don't understand something, and again, I tell my employees, my friends, I'm like, well, they're always really good. Hey, I don't understand this, but can you explain it to me? Like, even now, having younger people who work for me, I'm like, is this a trend going on? Like, what? I don't get it, but if you can explain it to me, I'd like to know more. And you guys did such a great job with me on that it's shown me, okay, like, what a good team partnership looks like. And also then red flags of, oh my gosh, and I can't work with somebody like this, because it's not like what I have here.
That's great. That's really flattering.
That's cool.
Yeah. Super flattering.
Super flattering.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, I could say, there's been, and I don't think that we've had conflict, in 4 years, which is wild to have.
Pretty impressive.
A relationship, a professional relationship with someone for that long. Anytime that something like came up or like, you know, something wasn't what we expected or whatever. And, you know, I have a way of just being direct
Which
to
I love,
you
though.
about stuff. And you always always, and I just love that about you, is you do business and it's not like, it's all about what's best for the business. What are we trying to accomplish here? And like, if anything was ever less than perfect, you own it and you make an adjustment. And it's like, you're such a professional.
Thank you.
You know, so I can't imagine the person that you didn't want to work with anymore, how bad that must have been, because you're such a.
Oh my gosh.
You're so.
I can tell you off screen.
Okay, cool, yeah, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that. I think that's great. I think that's the hardest part of doing business, you know, is like, and especially, you know, somebody calling your baby ugly or something, and how you respond to that. You know, you're like, oh, well, I don't, you know.
Rachel and I have had this conversation before. It's like, you could say a lot about like, I don't like how she dresses. I'm like, if you insult my work ethic, I am just like, yeah, like, I don't know what we were talking about that day, but it was like, if someone's like, or I can't even think of an example now, but it's like, if you think I'm not like I'm doing a good job, because I love feedback, so it wouldn't be that, but it's like, if you think I'm intentionally doing, it's like, I work so hard on it. Like, don't you think I'm not working on it? And like, you guys have never done that, but I don't know what situation we were talking about that day, and I was like, I'm just so heated. And you're like, oh, I get it. And I was like, don't insult my work ethic, because that's a constant.
Yeah. Did we ask in some way who you'd like to work with? Did you answer that?
The dream client.
The dream client.
Oh, you
Well,
did
she
dream
was like, well,
client.
you guys are the dream client.
Yeah.
She kind of answered it, but it was kind of a cop out.
You said getting into other states, but not necessarily the, you know, if you were like, I want to land fucking Pepsi or, you know, whatever.
I mean, there is, so, you know how there's Cowboys Fit here, the Packers, I'm from Wisconsin, obviously, they just opened up like a Packers Fit.
Oh, really?
So I was like, that'd be really cool.
Hey.
Yeah. Packers Fit.
Cheesehead community.
Yes. Like,
This one right
exactly.
here.
Like, my parents live 20
She
minutes
can do
away.
it.
This would be very easy.
I wish we had a cheesehead we could just plop on it right now.
Edit, just bink.
Coming
In the
for
spirit
you.
of manifestation, and we all just have
Right,
cheese
cheeseheads.
heads.
It's like, we're ready. But I think like some of those bigger brands like that, but then it's funny because it's like, but you guys will, like, you guys are going to be big, like, you're going to keep expanding and keep growing, and in a much, I mean, we're in a much bigger market than Green Bay, but Green Bay doesn't have anything like that. So that would be, I think, like a similar, like, all right, people need to know about this because this is probably the first really cool thing, no offense, Green Bay, but there's just not a lot of boutique fitness that I've seen in smaller cities in Wisconsin. So
I think it's really scalable. I really do.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kimberly, for being here. Thanks, Champagne Lion, for being just savages at what
we
you
try to
do
do.
and helping us to showcase our unique brand. And you know, thank you, media team who work in conjunction with Champagne Lion Lighthouse Media. And,
Yes.
you know, it would just be a Jim sitting here looking real cool, and like, you know, people probably wouldn't know about us like they do if it weren't for everything that you've done.
Yeah.
And I mean, just thank you for being here. You're awesome.
It's been so fun along the way, though. Like I said, it's just, I mean, you guys were the first people to give me a raise. 'Cause I'm like, I'll do this for free. I mean, I won't, but like, I'm just having a good time. You're like, hey, you're doing a lot. We're going to pay you more. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, we were going to also talking about doing a separate Instagram page for Sandbox Sessions. Where can people find Champagne Lion?
So you can find me. My name is Kimber, LKI for my personal. And then our Instagram is champagnelion.us, like United States, but without the A. And that's where you can find us. We give a lot of tips, a lot of strategies on how you can build your businesses and scale what you're doing right now.
And Rachel, where can people find Sandbox Sessions? How do they listen to us?
Everywhere you find your podcast. You've got iTunes, YouTube. It's also linked on our Instagram bio as well if you have trouble finding it.
Spotify.
Thanks, everyone.
And Spotify.
Thanks for listening.